tonight we're going to be running through smoky eye. So as a lot of you would know, smoky eye is a pretty popular technique used by a lot of makeup artists, and obviously features in a lot of different magazines with a lot of different looks. And even from year to year, smoky eye tends to be something that is very popular and something that a lot of girls really like to create that look themselves. First thing we're going to do is apply an eye primer. So I'm just going to pull up the top of the lid like this, and I'm just going to paint it straight onto the eye. Now the chalkier primers are great because they actually have quite a bit of traction to them, so they don't settle in the lines and they really grip the product onto the eye. So again, we just want to paint that straight all over the lid. So the next colour I'm going to grab today is our Terrific 3. So we've got white matte here, which is a nice flat white colour, which will really lift the eye so that when we go in with our smoky colours, it will create a really good contrast. So that's going to be our number 1 colour. Next colour we're going to use is Sexy Smoke, and that kind of says it all. It's a nice smoky grey, it's got a little bit of shimmer to it as well, so it makes it a bit fun. And then our third colour we're going to be using is our Black Matte. So we're going to start with our white. I'm going to use a nice fluffy brush here today. Usually you want to look for, when you're applying a base colour to the eye, you want to look for a nice fluffy brush. Flat brushes are great, but I find for base colours you really want something that's going to pick up a lot of colour at once. And see, just by a quick little sweep, it's picked colour, and then I can go ahead and apply that straight onto the eye primer and get a nice grip happening. So if you close eyes for me, hon, I'm just going to lift up that lid again and press the white matte straight into the eye. That's my little trick. Alright, again we're going to go in with the other eye, and we're just going to let the eye primer pick up the product, and we're going to apply a good amount. So now we're going to go in with a contour colour. If you get your client or yourself, you can look down in the mirror to get the same effect. You get them to look up. What you want to do is gently lift this area here, get your brush and put it in behind the eyelashes, and actually colour in roughly up to where the eyelashes are. And then if you close your eyes, you've just created yourself a guide. So if you look up again for me, hon, I'm just going to pick up this side of the eye again, and I'm just going to colour right into that crease up until about the eyelash. And now if you close eyes for me, you can tell that it's gone up to about the same area on both eyes. So I now have a guide to work off. So now if you do close your eyes for me, honey, I'm now going to just grab that colour, and I'm just going to create a crease line all the way down to the inner lid there. And then I'm going to just blend that colour up and bring it down. I'm going to use the back of the brush that doesn't have any product on it and gently blend off any hard lines. So this is your step 1 really to your smoky eye, and you can tell already that white's really allowed the Sexy Smoke colour to really sort of pop on the eye, rather than just be a big lot of shadow all over the eye that you won't really get as much effect out of. So again, I'm going to do the same technique on the other side. So I'm just going to grab a bit more product onto the brush. I'm going to create that crease line all the way down to the inner lid, and I'm going to run the back of the brush just along this line right here, just to create a really nice blend. You can always go back and grab a bit more product. I'm just going to pop this on the outer corners. And I'll get you to open eyes for me. At this point you can already start to see it take shape. and then you can start to kind of blend off that darker colour again. So I'm just going to blend a little bit more right here. And you always want to make sure as well that it's quite symmetrical, so you can do techniques like, if you open your eyes for me, hun, just making sure that it's the same on both sides and the height is about the same. Because of that technique that we did earlier, it's actually allowed us to create a really symmetrical eye, which is one of the #1 reasons I hear girls say, I can't do smoky eyes, I'll do one eye and I'll go to do the other eye, and it's completely different. So that technique there will save you a heap of time. So the next thing we want to do is actually now go in with a bit of extra contouring, and we want to make sure that we start to create some real depth to the eye look. I'm going to be using a charcoal eyeliner, pencil liner, and a black pencil liner. Pressure to these sections here, and it just pulls the eye so it's easier to draw on, and it won't make the client's eyes water as much. I'm then going to get my black liner, and I'm just going to use that brush with the eyeliner, and this is really fun way of creating that soft smoky finish underneath the eye. And then we're actually going to be setting that with eyeshadow as well. And already you can see it just gives a little bit more definition under the eye and just creates more of that sort of cat eye kind of thing as well. Okay, so now that we're up to this stage here, I think it's looking pretty good so far. We're going to grab some shimmer. My favourite place to apply the eye dust is actually, if you close eye, right here. Because what this will do is break up that smoky look and add that really nice kind of Miranda Kerr kind of look. And a lot of the Victoria's Secret models and magazines and stuff will often do this effect with eye shimmers because it's so feminine, it really picks up the eye shape. Then I actually just want to get a little bit and run it just underneath, again only pressing, not rubbing it into that area. And that will just give you a really nice look. A lot of people are scared of gel liner, but it is really easy to remove as well if you need to. So what I like to do is start it thin and then thicken up the areas that I need to. So if you just lift your head slightly for me and close eyes, I'm going to lift the lid again because I really want to get in close to the lash line. With some eye shapes, if you don't do that, you'll end up with that gap in between the lashes and the liner, and it's not such a good look. So what we want to do is lift up that area and paint it in really close to the lash line, pretty much on the lashes. We want to pull it all the way across, and then once I've got it to about halfway, I stop, and then I turn the brush over and come in at it from the other side. And just open eyes for me. And that will just add that definition to the eye. So after we've done the gel liner, as you can see, it's really starting to define the smoky eye look, and then that lightness, if you close your eyes for a second, in that inner corner, gives it such a nice finish and a really nice flow through as well, so you don't just have pure black happening. Now what I'm going to do is quickly run over the brows. So just using a brow brush, I'm going to brush up towards the arch and then coming down. Again, up towards the arch, and then heading down. I'm going to just pop some product onto the brush. The biggest trick I find with brows is you want to come from underneath and you want to apply a straight line all the way up to the brow, on the arch of the brow. Then after you've done that, you can just do a couple of little strokes all the way up. You want to create a nice little arrow point at the top of the arch. And then for the ends, I like to tap off any excess product on the hand first, because if it's too dark, that line, it can look a little bit too much. Then you can just grab your little brow brush again. And just remembering to add a little bit more product after each section, because otherwise you won't get the same definition. So the next thing now, I would go back with just a little bit of extra blush, just to make sure that we have enough contour happening. So just by tapping it in there and adding that little bit more contour to the cheeks. Now we're just going to add a little bit of lip colour. You can also do a bit of contouring while you're there as well. Just along the forehead. A little bit on the sides of the nose is always good as well, just to kind of contour. And under the chin. Beautiful. So now we're going to go in with a nice sort of nude lip. This is called powder mauve. This is a really gorgeous colour actually. Really nice for smoky eyes. It's kind of still got the colour, but it's not a really strong colour. Working up to the corners of the lip. And then again on the top, always start from the middle. And you'll get more of an even lip if you do it that way. If you start from one side, you'll often find that you'll go up too high on one side and then have to counteract it to the other. It's always best to start right from the middle section. Now I'm going to go in with my lip liner. Again, anytime you're using a pencil, always want to draw it on the back of the hand first, just to create a smooth finish. Now I'm going to start from the Cupid's bow, which is this section here, and I'm going to go up on one side, and then I'm going to go up on the other. This will help you really create a balance. You kind of want to echo from one side to the other. So you want to start from the middle, then you want to come down this side, and then mimic the same strokes on the other. You want to then go from the middle on the bottom lip. If you want to create a bit of a fun look, you can also get a little bit of your shimmer powder. Just press that into the bottom of the lip. That will just give the illusion of bigger lips as well, because you're bringing out an area on the face. Now I love nice glossy lips, so tonight we're going to use wet lips. So again, you always want to start from the middle. Now I'm not going to apply too much gloss for this look, because we really want to emphasize the eyes. But what this will do is just soften off the lips a little bit and just add a little bit of fullness. So if you're ever running out of, like on a look when you're doing models and things like that, and you want to add a bit of extra definition right at the ends, what you can also do, if you look up for me, right on this waterline here, you can actually add a little bit more liner just to redefine that area. So if you look up for me and facing this way, what I'm going to do is just pull that lid up, and I'm just going to colour right on the lash line there.